It concludes that Iraq has chemical and biological weapons, that Saddam has continued to produce them, that he has existing and active military plans for the use of chemical and biological weapons, which could be activated within 45 minutes, including against his own Shia population, and that he is actively trying to acquire nuclear weapons capability.
Part of the reason we went into Iraq the main reason we went into Iraq at the time was we thought he had weapons of mass destruction. It turns out he didn't. The terrorists attacked us and killed 3,000 of our citizens before we started the freedom agenda in the Middle East. They were... What did Iraq have to do with what?
The attack on the World Trade Center.
Nothing.
Secretary of State Colin Powell will make the case for war in a speech to the United Nations.
We also have satellite photos that indicate that banned materials have recently been moved from a number of Iraqi weapons of mass destruction facilities.
Colonel Larry Wilkerson, Colin Powell's longtime friend and advisor, was his chief of staff.
It was anything but an intelligence document. It was, as some people characterized it later, sort of a Chinese menu from which you could pick and choose.
At the CIA, Powell and his aides questioned, point by point, the menu of charges drafted by the White House.
There was no way the Secretary of State was going to read off a script about serious matters of intelligence that could lead to war when the script was basically unsourced.
What we're giving you are facts and conclusions based on solid intelligence.
For more than an hour, Secretary Powell displays photos, holds up a chemical vial that suggests anthrax, shows slides, all to make dozens of claims about Saddam's weapons of mass destruction.
One of the most worrisome things that emerges from the thick intelligence file we have on Iraq's biological weapons is the existence of mobile production facilities used to make biological agents.
He makes a dramatic accusation. Saddam has bioweapons labs mounted on trucks that would be almost impossible to find.
We have first-hand descriptions of
In fact, Secretary Powell was not told that one of the sources he was given as a source of this information had indeed been flagged by the Defense Intelligence Agency as a liar fabricator.
To find even one of these 18...
Powell was also not told that the prime source, an Iraqi defector codenamed Curveball, had never been debriefed by the CIA.
Maybe the name of the agent wasn't alarming enough. Maybe it should have been Screw Up or, you know, a lying sack of manure, something like that. But, you know, to know that you're giving the president a ticket to go to war based upon one source, at that point you want to drag the source in and talk to him yourself.
Curveball is a case of utter irresponsibility and a good example of how decayed the intelligence process has become.
The day before Powell's speech, a CIA skeptic had warned about the defector's reputation as a liar. In an email reply, his superior acknowledges the problem, but adds, this war is going to happen regardless. The powers that be probably aren't terribly interested in whether Curveball knows what he's talking about.
The United States will not and cannot...
Powell was not told about the email.
Leaving Saddam Hussein in possession of weapons of mass destruction for a few more months or years is not an option, not in a post-September 11th world.
The speech would turn out to be riddled with misleading allegations, but at the time, the press plays it as an overwhelming success.
He had walked into my office musing, and he said words to the effect of, I wonder how we'll all feel if we put 500,000 troops into Iraq and march from one corner of the country to the other and find nothing.
March 19th, 2003, the aerial bombardment of Iraq begins. It is the first preemptive war on this scale in U.S. history.